Hey, welcome to Cube Puzzle Fun, a YouTube channel where I try my darndest to explain how you solve these cube puzzle things in plain English so that everyone can easily understand. This is a short little addendum that I am doing for step 4 of the Cube Puzzle Fun 5 Easy Steps for Solving a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. This is the step 4 video actually fit all into 15 minutes for once. That was weird. But since step 4 is a little bit complicated, I am making a bit of a help video for how do you get past some of the complications and challenges that you might run into when trying to do a 3x3 and doing step 4. Step 3 is where you get all these 4 edges placed around the middle ring there, and then you have what is like 2 layers of the cube solved. And one of the very first things that people run into when trying to do step 4 is thinking that they have step 3 complete, and they actually don't. Step 3 is only complete when you have all 4 of these not corners, but edges, all 4 of these edges placed correctly next to their centers. And when you have all 4 of those edges placed nice and neat next to their centers, whatever side is on top of your cube, all 4 of the edges going around should have that color in them. So this is orange, this is the top color, and all 4 of these edge pieces should all have some orange in them. So if you have double checked and you do indeed have a solved step 3 with all of your edges in the right place, and you have the last color that you're trying to solve, all 4 of the edges have that color in them, and you're ready to proceed on to step 4, you might find this case. None of the 4 edge pieces that are kicked up to the top that have orange in them are facing upwards. All 4 of them are facing outwards. The 3 moves again that you do are a clockwise twist of your front face. So the front face is the face that is facing towards you if you have the side that you're trying to solve facing up towards the top. Okay, so clockwise twist of the front face. Clockwise twist of the top face is the second part of it, and a clockwise twist of the right face is the third part of it. Now you want to back all 3 of those out, but you go in a slightly different order, where you back out the top first anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, and you back out the right side, counterclockwise twist there, and you back out the front, counterclockwise twist there. So that is one problem that some people run into, is just doing that sequence of 3 moves incorrectly. If you do the 3 moves clockwise, and then when you're backing them out, you do one of the moves clockwise instead of counterclockwise, that can throw your whole game off and send pieces where they don't belong. Now when you do that sequence of 3 moves and you get 2 of your out-facing pieces flipped up towards the top, and they are in a line, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos that suggest you have to hold the line going straight across. You actually don't. If you hold it going vertically, that's fine too. It's just the difference being when you do your front face clockwise, top clockwise, right clockwise, and then back those 3 out, top anti-clockwise, right side counterclockwise, and front face counterclockwise. Now what will happen, instead of if you were holding it this way with the line that way, then your L would already be lined up the way you need to do it for the next step. But if you held the line vertically, then your L is going to be over here, and then you need to flip your cube until the L is backwards L. But that's okay. You just need to keep that in mind, that if you do it with the line facing vertically, you're going to have to rotate your cube. When you do have 2 of the pieces that you're trying to get flipped up to the top, and in a right angle, you are one more iteration of that front top side thingamajig that we do from being complete. But as I was saying, you definitely need to hold it this way. In my step 4 video, I'm telling you, you do need to hold the L facing this way. That is a common mistake that a lot of people make. If you hold it any other way, you will not get to the place where all 4 are facing upwards, and that is what you need in order to be able to proceed. So let's do this one more time. And we will have all 4 facing up. Now, the next thing that some people find challenging is, now that I have all 4 facing up, how do I figure out how to get 2 of them over their correct centers? And it's pretty much just a case of just swinging them around until you, like this one has the yellow, but that's just one, and if you keep swinging them, you'll probably find some situation where 2 of, there you go, white is over white and green is over green. So you really be saving yourself a lot of work if you really just twist this top until you find out where it is that 2 of them will line up. And unfortunately, sometimes the 2 of them line up across from each other instead of next to each other, adjacent to each other. And that's a bit of a pain in the neck, because then you have to do the swap twice. And that can really foul some people up. So actually, let me get the cube into that condition, and we'll talk about the solution, how to get out of it. Here is what it looks like. We have all 4 of our orange edges facing upwards like we want. But if we start swinging this around looking for where we can get 2 of them to line up, we find that we can get 2 of them to line up, but it is either the yellow and the white, which are opposite colors, are lining up on the opposite sides of the cube, or we can get blue and green to line up, but that's the best we can do, and there are none that are adjacent to each other, so you can't really do the scenic route to swap to, because there are 2 that are solved over here, or there are 2 that are solved over here, and there's nothing that you can swap that will get you out of that mess. So what you have to do is just swap anything. It doesn't really matter where you start. If you're in that condition, you just swap anything, and then you will be able to line up 2 adjacent to each other. So I'll just show you the scenic route real quick to swap anything, and now there should be 2 that line up somewhere adjacent to each other. Here is white lining up, here is yellow and green lining up. Okay, yellow and green are lining up adjacent to one another, and the 2 that need to be swapped are just white and blue. So you would hold it with the blue facing towards you and the white facing off to the right. The 2 that you want to swap need to be forming the right angle, going towards you and off to the right. If you hold it the wrong way, then your swap is not going to actually swap these 2. So that is another important thing you need to take into consideration, another thing that confuses and crosses people up sometimes. But we are holding our cube the correct way, so if we do the scenic route, which is fully explained in the step 4 video, then we will end up with all 4 of our edges being able to be placed over their proper centers. Now, did you see what I did there? At the very end of that swap, swapping those 2, I did a little bit of a correction. I said we are able to put all of our 4 pieces over their correct centers, and we are able to put all 4 of our edges over their correct centers, but they weren't over their correct centers just yet. They were 90 degrees rotated. Every time you do that scenic route swap, this is the #1 thing that crosses people up and gets people messed up, is that they proceed to step 5 thinking that they have solved step 4 and they need to do that one more little thing of just fixing them and putting them back over their centers where they go. So that is a very definite, huge thing that you can do to save yourself a lot of frustration and pulling out your hair, is when you think you are done with step 4, just make sure that you actually are, and check to see that your centers are lined up with your centers. If all 4 of your edges are facing upward in the right way, and if all 4 of your edges are over their correct centers, then, and only then, are you actually done with step 4. Now, on to step 5. This has been Cube Puzzle Fun. My rap name is Alex. Thanks for joining. Peace. See you in step 5.